Hey everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, which is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
That's right, and welcome to another episode, and this is the final episode of our series, and the series is called The Freedom Through Passive Income Lifestyle.
Yeah.
And this is part
Quattro.
Part 4. This is called Never Give Up.
Yeah. I thought of this one. It was actually something I was thinking about for a different reason, but when I got to the end of this series, actually tomorrow's episode 2 is going to be kind of a carry through. But I thought of this one because when we were on Whitney's podcast, and at the very end, he was like, what's the one thing that you could tell everybody? Right. And I said one thing, and you were like, this is what I was thinking. I was like, that's the one.
Right.
And it was never give up.
Right. Because
we've talked about through this 4-part series how surreal it is that we have been able to do what we've done in terms of finding a house and been like, woo, it's $1 million house that we didn't even know at the time.
Yep.
That we purchased for $800,000 because it was being sold as is. And we didn't know that either because it looked beautiful online. We just thought it was an $800,000 house that we were like, oh my gosh, that checks all the boxes. Let's go and let's fly down there and see it. And when we got it, we were like, eek! Like, there's a lot of work to do here. And the realtor's like, honestly, if it was all completely fixed up, it would be over $1 million. And so we're like, okay, well, I mean, we're rehabbers. This is like nothing new to us.
Yeah.
It's different because it's our home, right?
Right.
I would much have preferred to move in. Yeah. But we've been working this entire time. You have been specifically lining up contractors, negotiating with contractors, listening to their BS prices and all the crap that they say they're trying to scare you into doing.
If this was my house,
yes.
Here's what I would do. Oh, really?
Yeah. It doesn't change. No matter how long you've been in real estate, you still have to live through the contractor madness. In fact, I think we've been spoiled because we went through the horror stories of contractors who just ripped us off. We lost a lot of money with contractors, but we finally found the great ones. And once you find the great ones and you treat them well, you don't lose the great ones. In fact, they refer you to other great ones. And we've been so spoiled not to have had to be looking for contractors or be dealing with the nonsense of it. And when we got here, I was like, oh, wow. Okay,
maybe we need to move them down here.
Now we need to find our Florida base, which you've started. We actually, on my notebook, I've got approved contractors. I should do our blacklist, but I won't.
That's a long list already. We've only been here a week.
But anyways, so it's been surreal. And there's been many times, and I don't know about you, I'm going to let you take this over for a second because I talk about it all the time. There's many times during our journey here that I have literally been in tears and told you and Tina, you guys can have these companies. I freaking give up. I hate this. I can't do it anymore. It's too stressful. It's too hard. It's too whatever. And everybody has those. At least I know I did because I was the one vocally just going, pulling my hair out, right? And you and Tina, I don't know if you just were internalizing it because you had to support me through my crisis. But why don't you talk about it?
Right. Well, it's been, ever since, and I always talk about it, the whole 3 feet from gold. It's been over 10 years now, I believe, since we read, I read that book and because they always say, oh, you need to read this book. Yeah, whatever. The book's like 100 years old, whatever. How is that going to teach me anything, new, right?
Right.
And of course, it blew my mind, and the story is still rings true every day. And so I've always had that mentality of the never give up, the 3 feet from gold. We're this close. I'm not stopping now, and then that Whitney, the podcast, you said exactly what it was true, of how we got where we did. And after the podcast, I said, I would have said this. And you're like, wow, that's true.
Yeah.
And so it's, I was just trying to think before we started recording, how many times it would have been easier to quit than to go on. There's too many times to count.
Yes.
Countless times, and where we could have just thrown in the towel.
Yep.
And just well, let's do something different.
Yeah.
Because no matter what we would have done, we could have done it. Whatever, have been successful at it.
I think the flip side of the coin was always, let's just do it by ourselves. We can literally flip this house by ourselves, one house, and make $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 and not have overhead. And not try to do volume and not try to build an amazing team. And not it was always easier to we can make more money doing it by ourselves.
Yeah, why are we trying to do 100 when we could do 10 and by ourselves and be way happier, right?
But it was that passion, right? Of building the team.
Yep.
Of having this was our family, and sharing in the wealth of what we were creating, and but it was tough.
Oh, and whenever you would have your breakdown, we're like, she's fine. She'll be fine in the morning.
And it's true.
And it's true, because every morning you would be fine. Now, if you would have woke up the next morning and still said, that's it, I'm done, I quit. I'm like, code red.
We're in trouble. But I will say that you and Tina were very, very consistently saying things like, look how far we've come.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You forget to.
Yeah. So it was just one of those lessons that maybe you guys couldn't say I give up, because you were listening to me going, we can't all be on fire. If Danny's on fire, we need to put out her fire, and we need to make sure that we keep on going. But it is one of those lessons that no matter how hard it gets, if you have a dream, or if you have a passion, or if you care about something, you're going to have bad days, and there's going to be times where you want to give up, or you're helping somebody else on your team not give up. And that the work involved in doing that is worth it. And it's also okay. We just did this Motivational Monday. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to scream and yell and say, I give up, and you guys can have it all. Because tomorrow morning is a brand new day.
Yep.
So I think it's a really powerful lesson. And taking the easy road is not usually the best decision.
Right. And I think you touched on something there, and I'm trying to remember the book because I didn't read it or listen to it. It was a book you read, but you talked about it. It was the focusing on how far you've come.
Gap in the game.
The gap in the game. And so, because we were constantly going, I'm not where I want to be.
Yep.
And that's what was frustrating us. We're not where we want to be. This sucks. That's it. I'm done. It's not the, oh my gosh, look at the miles we've just come.
Yes.
And we went from nothing to 50 team members and yada yada yada.
Yep.
But now we're not where we want to be. I was like, screw it, I'm done.
Yep.
And so, but it's looking at what we've accomplished instead of what we haven't accomplished.
Yep.
So
I agree.
That also changed I really like that book, even though I haven't read it or listened to it. But
you got the summary from me.
Yep. I got the Danny notes. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you're heading on over to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, to join our investor club. And so that wraps up the Freedom Through Passive Income Lifestyle series.
That's right.
But make sure you're checking us out on all of the social medias out there. And YouTube's, and click the bell. That does something, I think.
It notifies you of
when
new
new episodes. Yeah, there you go.
I think it does, because but I've clicked the bell for other people that I follow, and I don't get notifications.
I think you have all your volumes off.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Anyway, we like to end all of our podcasts with
invest smart,
live happy. Bye everybody. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on the show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit and loss.